Yo, it's your boy GTheDon and I'm back. Yes, I disappeared ever since my Detroit Lions got beat, and I've been depressed. Almost as depressed as I've been about the fall off of Thundurus. Honestly, guys, how did Thundurus go from being one of the best Pokemon ever to being used less than 1%? Like, come on. I know there's not 55 better Pokemon. So today, I'm going to talk to you guys about the fall off of Thundurus and how we got to this low point. So to start off, I got to take y'all boys all the way back, like 10 years ago, back to when I was in middle school. Pokemon Black and White had just been released. They came out with some dope new Pokemon like Crocodile, Tornadus, Thundurus, Landorus, all the boys. It was hype. They restarted and that's all we could use. And in competitive Pokemon, that was also the same for them. They could only use the new Pokemon. When them boys dropped in, it was crazy. Especially when Thundurus came around. Thundurus was absolutely busted. Look at his stats. Dude was fast, hard hitting, and he just looked cool, to be honest. Like, who doesn't want a blue genie? Thundurus also had an insane typing of electric and flying, which allowed him to go crazy on the battlefield. He was really only weak to three things since electric and flying covered each other so much. Now, when most people looked at Thundurus in the competitive scene in the beginning, they knew he was insane too, due to his nice ability Prankster. Prankster allows your Pokemon to move first if they're not doing any damaging moves. And good thing for Thundurus, because he came with a lot of non-damaging moves that were OP. Dude came loaded out with Swagger, Thunder Wave, Scary Face, Eerie Impulse, anything you could really want. But with these moves, he was able to be used a little bit different than people thought he'd be able to. Yo, you made it this far, why not sub up? Most of you guys that watch this channel aren't even subbed. Be like the cool kids and be here before 50 subs. Honestly, thank you guys so much for even getting me that close to 50. Never thought I'd be here. But back to the video, since y'all want to hear more about the fall off of Thundurus. But it took one special player to figure this out. Because before he came around with his insane Thundurus, everyone was just using him as a hard-hitting Pokemon, the way you'd think he would be used. Due to Ray Rizzo, probably the Pokemon GOAT, 3-time champ, back-to-back-to-back. I don't care if your fave's Wolf, I like him too, but Ray just might be better, and I think Wolf will tell you that himself. Ray came around with the bulky Thundurus, and it was insane. Dude didn't put any damage into special attack, and with the high special attack at the time, you didn't need it. He put all his EVs into bulk. With all that bulk in his Citrus Berry, Thundurus was able to take almost any hit, which could be a problem, especially when he sat next to an Intimidator. An Intimidator allowed you to do less damage on the physical end, and that shit was busted. The way Ray used his Thundurus was also different. The way Ray built his Thundurus allowed it to become a full-on cheese monster, and we were able to see the full capacity of its cheese against Aaron Zhang, one of Pokemon's best players. Aaron Zhang was getting hacked out by the annoying Thunder Wave and Swagger combo, and if you played any of the old Pokemon games, being paralyzed or being confused was so stupid, it felt like you never got to move, and Aaron really felt that. For about 3 games, none of his Pokemon were able to move due to Thundurus being so busted.
Because the paralysis chance is worth it. And yes, it is. That's Cresselia and Rotom are both unable to move. And you can see the look on Aaron's face right there. Not great.
And Aaron wasn't able to deal with it. Now, with this game, I know Aaron cried a bunch, and I know Pokemon saw a couple of those tears, and I think they decided it was time to patch Thundurus. Now, I'm going to let my friend LeBron tell you how many times they had to patch Thundurus.
Not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6.
But he was still dominant. Yeah, they had to patch him a lot, and it still didn't work. Now, with all those patches, you'd think he'd begin to fall off. But if you look from anywhere from 2013, when he was first released, to about 2022, he was still dominant. We've really only began to see the effects recently. But honestly, with that time, he was able to become one of the most dominant Pokemons ever. He even has a better winning record than everyone's least favorite Pokemon of all time, because he is officially now the most broken Pokemon of all time, Incineroar. Incineroar, yes, I apologize for calling you mid. I'll never do that again. Now, for over a decade, Thundurus was able to rampage through all the tiers. Even Dynamax, he was able to rampage through. It was insane. But those nerfs I was telling you about earlier, they were finally starting to catch up. The first nerf that really hit hard was Thunder Wave. Thunder Wave was patched, no longer being able to affect even electric types. It also was nerfed by its accuracy. Accuracy went from over 100% to 90%, and we all know in Pokemon there's one rule. If it ain't 100%, it's 50%. And you can really see that when you play today, honestly. Thunder Wave was also changed by the way the speed interactions work. Now, that broken ability Prankster I was telling you guys about earlier, that also got patched. Prankster, which once let you move before anybody else with a non-damaging move, no longer worked on everybody. Dark types were now immune to the Prankster statuses. At the beginning, you know, not a big deal, but now, Dark type has really become one of the better typings in this game, so it's really starting to see the effects. But Prankster is still so busted that Pokemon like Murkrow, yes, Murkrow can use it and be dominant. So it took a little bit of a nerf, but nothing too crazy. With all those nerfs starting to add up, we really started to see these effects in Generation 9, with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Dude went on an insane stretch in Worlds and other regionals from about 2013 to now, in 2023. Where in Worlds, when he was finally unleashed into Scarlet and Violet, he really didn't do much. He cracked the top 20 of Worlds, barely. But honestly, the way it's looking now in 2024, I don't even think he's going to be brought to Worlds. Like I said earlier, with some of the best Pokemon being dark types, it's just so hard for him to keep up now. Even his buddies that he was released with, Landorus and Thundurus, they've started to see decline. Honestly, even Wolf put out a video on how hard Landorus has fallen off. And Landorus was one thought to be the best Pokemon. Honestly, because Landorus was the hardest check to Thundurus. But now, he's gone. Honestly, it's so sad to see such a fall off. Dude went from being so high all the time, being ranked number 1, number 2, number 3, always coming in top 3 in Worlds, to just boom. He still has the most top 8 finishes in Worlds of all time, but honestly, the kitty everybody hates with a pity, Incineroar, is just going to top him soon. Honestly, in the next year or two. And I don't see him any slowing down with the way Pokemon loves him, because they just keep buffing that guy. Especially since he's also a dark type, the Thundurus can't slow down. So yeah, that's dope. It's sad to see a top tier Pokemon start to fade, but honestly a new one will arise, maybe even a cooler looking one, hopefully.